City. And I signed up for the Redemption Project in Rush City for the classes. I was a little skeptical at first. I've signed up for other programs, and other programs haven't been as supporting as the Redemption Project has for me. They've stood behind me 100% all the way up to today and supported me for housing, jobs, job leads, and I'm currently still looking for a house, but they're behind me 100% in finding a house. And most organizations would have cut me dry a long time ago. So I really do thank the Redemption Project, Dwight, for standing by their program. It's 100% I recommend it for any inmate who is in prison signing up for any programs. The Redemption Project, because I really don't know where I would be at today without the Redemption Project. So it's giving me a second chance at being out here on parole, because I could be back in prison right now if it wasn't for the Redemption Project. So I'm truly grateful for the program, and I believe that should be it.
All right, another next speaker we're going to have is he's actually one of our staff people. His name is Dave Snider, and Dave was in our first cohort, and he was actually a facilitator in the second cohort, and he's now on our staff, and I'm just so proud to have him on board, and he's doing a great job. And so, Dave, I'll let you say a few words.
Hi. 15 years ago, almost to the day, it was the end of October of 2009, I got arrested in Iowa on drug charges. Excuse me, I was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison, and that was not my first time. I had been a product of recidivism based off of my own choices, my own addictions, my own failure to put in the work to try to move forward, but a lot of that was because of a lack of support. So during about halfway through my 14 and a half years of incarceration, I was blessed to meet Tim. And Tim and I came from much different places. I kind of look at it like this, but you know, he kind of befriended me. He came to me and he started to point out qualities and things that he saw in me, things that I couldn't see in myself, you know, and it seemed weird at first. I'm like, no, you've got the wrong person. You know, I'm not those things. You know, I've been this messed up my life for so many years. You know, I've affected my family. You know, I've had to watch my kids grow up through visiting rooms and pictures. But throughout all of that, when I couldn't see myself, Tim saw me, and he saw more in me than I was able to see in myself. And he started to instill value in me. He started to instill hope in me. He befriended me, like I said, and then him and myself and two other guys sat around on our recreation yard. He asked what kind of different needs there were for reentry. Obviously, he was asking people that have gone through, that had experience with messing that up. So, you know, three of us knuckleheads and Tim got together. You're not the knucklehead, it was the other three of us. And we started talking about those things. And then Tim wanted to make a difference, and he got out and he did. And Dwight, I remember Dwight coming to see Tim in the visiting room, and they wanted to make a change, and they wanted to make a difference, and they got out and they, you know, two brains that were smarter than the three knuckleheads started the Redemption Project. And I can't imagine a support group like that, an organization that'll come in, because like Mitch said, there's a lot of organizations that come in, there's a lot of classes that you take, and they just kind of end when you're done. You know, you go in, you do the curriculum, and then you're done, and then they kick you out. And that's kind of the way that a lot of the systems are, too. You leave, and then you're on to the next part of it, but you're on your own to try to figure out a lot of that stuff on yourself. So the Redemption Project has just been such a blessing to be able to instill value in individuals. The end of the program, we talk about our destiny, to be able to see a destiny for yourself, to be able to see a future for yourself, to be able to restore your family. I remember when Tim wanted to make a difference, and the first time I talked to Dwight, he said his biggest the biggest reason for him to be so important, that this to be so important to him, is because of the families, because of the children, because of what incarceration does to those families and that separation, and that's true. So his passion for it and Tim's passion for it, and just the coming together and growing this wonderful thing has just been a blessing. And I'm so blessed to have been a part of the first cohort, to continue to move forward and grow, as Dwight said, to be a inside facilitator with the next couple. And then here we are 4.5 months after my release, and I'm part of the organization as an employee. So to be full circle and to come into this role and to be blessed with the opportunity to help other people to not have to watch their kids grow up through visiting rooms and pictures and stuff like that, and to restore their lives and to instill value and hope in them, and to help them to move forward so we can lower this cycle of recidivism. I don't know that we'll ever break it, but we'll continue to try to chip away at it. So I'm so blessed to be a part of the Redemption Project. I just thank them I thank Tim for seeing me when I couldn't see myself. I thank Dwight for coming in and continuing to support us week after week, month after month through fellows meetings. He'd come in for a fellows meeting and there'd just be 2 of us there. Sometimes there'd just be 1, and he'd sit there and talk to us for an hour and a half and just continue to support us through that. And we just continue to do that on the outside too. So I'm so blessed to be a part of this. And I thank all of you. I work with employers, so I'm an employment services director, and I'm rambling on, so I'll cut it short. But I tell them that when you take a chance on somebody, when you see somebody for who they are and not for what they did, and you give them a chance, it's like an investment. You're investing in that person. You're investing in their life. And that investment has a positive ripple effect, and it carries over to their children's lives, and it carries over to their families' lives, and it carries over to society as a whole. So all of you in this room are investing in lives. Mentors, employment partners, donors, legislators, commissioner. Peter Bell is one of my mentors. Tim was one of my mentors. I have to give a shout out to both of you. I thank you so much for everything you've done for me. So thank you all for investing in our lives. God bless you, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave. Now we'd like to introduce Eulises Lagunas, and Eulises was in, I think our second cohort, and down in Rochester, and he's got a very interesting story to tell. So, Eulises.
Well, I'm not as good as Dave. I gotta write things down. But good evening, everyone. My name is Eulises. Most of you guys know me as Happy. I did the Redemption Project back in 2018. I was in the second cohort. When I got arrested September 25th, 2013. It was a rough time. It was actually on my son's birthday. He had turned 4. I did almost 11 years. But when I went in, man, I was broken. Physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I grew up in the streets. I've been selling drugs since I was a kid. Had no work history. When I went, I was illiterate. I couldn't read, couldn't write. But as I started getting sentenced, I told myself, I got to do the time and not let this time do me. This was my 3rd time as an adult going back in, and I spent most of my juvenile time in correctional facilities because I never wanted to listen. I never wanted to take anybody's advice. I never wanted to open up. I had the pleasure to go to Rochester for being a federal institution. Man, it was wonderful. I got a lot of mentors. I met Laura. She's the one who taught me how to read and write. I was 32, but as I started opening up to letting people back into my life and letting this guard down, that's when I met Dave Snider. I met Bill, mentors of mine, who they're the ones who pushed me to give back to the gentlemen in the prison. Dave helped me with the comfort care program. That's something that really opened up my eyes to seeing a lot of gentlemen in there who were never going to go home, who were dying in there. I've seen a lot of good men in there spend the rest of their time and it's only us in there holding her hand. And I was like, man, this can't be it for me. I can't do this. I got kids. I got to start doing something different. A few years later, I met Tim, who's also my mentor. I didn't talk to him much when he was at Rochester with us, but I would hear Dave talking about, oh, he's going to help us out. He wants to start this program out, you know, help us with reentry back into the society. A few years, here comes the wife. And I was like, wow, this is for real. Yeah. So I got involved in it. Like I said, the only work history I had was in prison. I finished the 8,000 painter program in there, a partial plumbing program in there. Like I said, I learned how to read and write in there, but I still didn't have the confidence to say that I can go out there and do an interview with anybody. I can say honestly that I was never able to sell myself in that kind. I can sit down and have a conversation with somebody and do the things that I was doing in the street, but I didn't have that confidence until I got into the Redemption Project. And we did the interview, the mock interview. I can't remember the gentleman who came in with you, but we did that. And when they told me I did it perfectly, man, that's what gave me the confidence. I started doing more programs, started getting more involved. And now that I'm home, man, they can't stop me. I came home, got a job a week after I got out in a carpentry shop, which was great, but my passion is plumbing. That's what I want to do. I'm glad to say that a company, Gans Brand, took the chance with me, and I'm one of the drain technicians. I'm excited about it. It's a wonderful opportunity, but if it wasn't for what the Redemption Project stands for and what they're willing to give us, the tools that they're willing to give us, and the virtues, I can honestly say that I wouldn't be able to be here right now. I've had to pass these tools on to a brother of mine when he wanted to go back, when times were getting rough and he wanted to go back and start doing different things, start going back to what we were doing in the streets. And I was like, listen, bro, you know, I got 16 years. I was fortunate enough that I only did 11, but I was like, man, don't take that route, man. Fight. Now he's a supervisor at some delivering company and making great money, and I'm glad he took my advice from what I learned in the Redemption Project, so he wouldn't have to do what had to go through the trials that I had to go through for those 11 years. And these programs work. If you work them, they work. And man, that's why I'm here today, and that's why you gentlemen who did the program are here today, that they can see what we're trying to do in our lives. So I appreciate it, and thank you.
All right, we have one more person that we're going to be hearing from, Steve Larsin. Steven, if you want to come on up, tell us a little. Steven is a recent graduate. He was serving time in Faribault, I believe. And he stepped up and said he'd like to say a few words, so here's Steve.
I'm not as good as Happy. I wrote everything down. First, I want to thank everyone for coming and taking a vested interest in such a vital and noteworthy endeavor such as this. A special thanks for the Interlochen Country Club for hosting us tonight. What a special space for us to share this evening. My name is Steve Larsin. And up until recently, I used to denigrate myself with terms such as ex-con, career criminal, one percenter. Not today. I'm a proud fellow of the Redemption Project, and that qualifies me to be counted back into the human race. I'm honored to be able to share a few words with everyone in regards to why we are here tonight. I began a criminal lifestyle at an early age. Toured the juvenile system for years. And then at 16, I was certified as an adult. I went to prison. That was in 1982. I know I don't look that old, but every bit of value or ethics my mother tried to instill in me had to take a back seat to the new rules and values that I had to adapt in order to get by in this subculture. And boy, it is a subculture. By 1986, I was introduced to narcotics. It was enslaved for just under 40 years. Every time I was released from prison, with the exception of just a month ago, believe it or not, I can recall the unsurmountable fears, anxiety concerning my ability to make things work out just for a week. Can I just last a week? And the challenges that one faces without means of support, guidance, and understanding is beyond comprehension. Only to those with us here tonight, some of you guys could understand that. Every time I was either inside or being released, if there was somebody or if I was somebody who cared enough about my future to engage with me, just an opportunity with some teeth to drag me from the grip, from the abyss of poverty. I'm not good at turning pages here. Or being marginalized and dread. It is my opinion we are onto something here with the Redemption Project. A career, inclusion, and hope. I really believe that. To rehabilitate a human being after years of trauma or isolation takes some thought and time. But I believe what I've seen from my team, which I consider my team, Dwight and everybody, has been pure, unadulterated compassion. In the 27 years I've donated my life to incarceration, I've met a group of people so ambitious and dedicated to making sure that I'm okay, and how can they help me succeed? Dwight, Stephen, Big Al, Brad, and even Odell. I have no idea how much their dedication has inspired me to turn my back on being a subtractor from this life and contribute to the best I can. Thank you guys for giving me the permission to seek the truth and to use the recipe prescribed to have one's soul out in front in all matters. I am far from where I want to be, but I am light years from where I once was. Yeah. Last but not least, I think, wait a minute, is that it? Wait. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Wait. No, there's more. Due to the love, I can't forget about Mom. Due to the love unconditionally from my mother, she is my hero and my best friend. I am safe and have a place to which I have a key, which such rewards would not have been available if I'd been busy trying to destroy my life rather than rebuild it. I want to thank all the hardworking staff and mentors for the work you do, also the continuing and future resource people and or groups for your support. You just need to know the impact it has and what it means to invest in sometimes hopeless person's life the way you do. I've done bad things and I did my time, but this will not be my legacy nor my destiny. I'm doing everything to not let it define me. I refuse to squander what I've learned here, and maybe someday my words and actions will help someone else find the path to redemption. This is for Odell. This is from the wise and very astute, late great Tony Saragusa. I heard this. Go not where path leads. Go where there is no path, so to leave a trail. I heard him say that. I thought it was pretty cool. Thank you, guys.